Thank you for tuning in. Your Madison City Schools broadcast will begin momentarily. Thank you for tuning in. Your Madison City Schools broadcast will begin momentarily. Thank you for tuning in. Your Madison City Schools broadcast will begin momentarily. Thank you for tuning in. Your Madison City Schools broadcast will begin momentarily. Thank you for tuning in. Your Madison City Schools broadcast will begin momentarily. Thank you for tuning in. Your Madison City Schools broadcast will begin momentarily. Thank you for tuning in. Your Madison.
Good morning. I'd like to call the City of Madison Board of Education School Board meeting for October 31st to order, please. If we'll all rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you so much. Ms. King, roll call, please. Here.
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 Thank you, Ms. King. Board, if you'll take a moment and review the agenda, I need a motion and a second.
So move.
Second.
A motion by Mr. Overcash and a second by Ms. Lessman. All those in favor of the agenda, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstain? Agenda passes. Dr. Nichols, any presentations this morning?
No, sir. We're going to move the Boys and Girls State presentation to the next meeting since we moved this meeting in lieu of the state championship game that we had Thursday for Bob Jones Volleyball. So we'll move that to the next meeting. We'll also invite the Bob Jones Volleyball team to come since they're the runners-up in the state. So we'll have them there as well.
Excellent. Thank you, Dr. Nichols. Now is the time for public comments. If you've signed up for public comments with Ms. King prior to the board meeting, she will call you now. Just please keep in mind that there may be differing opinions in the audience and just be respectful of others. Thank you. Ms. King.
Early this morning. Good morning. I'm here just to ask you to all carefully consider the impact your proposed policy changes will have on our schools. Over the past couple of years, we concerned parents have struggled to work alongside you members of the board, and we have found that there really isn't a governing body that holds you accountable. The city council that puts you in these seats, they do not hold you accountable to decisions you make. The state board is completely off hands, allowing you to run things as you see fit. What you are now suggesting is to remove the parents' voices when it comes to holding you accountable, because that's exactly what your new grievance policy changes will do, giving you ultimate authority to make decisions with no accountability, no regard for parents and their concerns. These are our children and our schools. The way I see it is that you're showing your cowardice with these new changes. I, along with others, concerned and committed parents, will hold our schools to a better standard, one that focuses on academic excellence that we once provided, while eliminating the noise, the environmental distractions that do not promote a healthy learning environment. And we would like to do this work alongside you, not against you. So I ask you to carefully consider before you vote in these changes what they will actually do to our voices as parents. Now, I can't stay for the duration. I have 4 kids to get off to school. So, happy visits.
Thank you.
With no further comments, we will close the public comments and move into business action items. Dr. Nichols.
Mr. President, members of the board, recommend approval of the consent agenda. It contains items A, minutes 22-24, October 13th to 22. Field trip request for Liberty Middle School Choir to go to Atlanta. A field trip request for the Liberty Middle School dance team to compete in the national championships in Orlando. Field trip request for Bob Jones ROTC to compete in Molina, Georgia. Hearing impaired salary schedule added to the 22-23 salary schedule. An agreement by and between the City Board of Education and Casey Robertson for vision observations, evaluations, and recommendations for special ed services. And G, disposal of cafeteria tables at West Madison Elementary School.
Board, Dr. Nichols recommends approval of the consent agenda items A through G. A through G. Can I have a motion and a second?
So move.
I'm sorry, who is, sorry, Newberry. We have a motion by Ms. Lessman and a second by Mr. Newberry. Sorry about that, Mr. Newberry. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Any abstain? Motion passes. Dr. Nichols.
Mr. President, members of the board, I recommend for approval to amend policy 2.5 for electronic meetings. This is from the policy committee. This is the second reading.
Board, the superintendent recommends approval to amend policy 2.5, electronic meeting policy. Can I have a motion and a second?
So move.
Second.
We have a motion by Ms. Lessman and a second by Mr. Newberry. Discussion? This is the second reading of the meeting, and we did discuss it last time. Have there been any comments that we know received on this?
Not on this policy, no, sir.
And any overview anybody from the policy committee wants to give? You gave it last time. This is really my question last time was, would we be allowed to vote? And that's not true, right? We cannot vote.
We can vote. I don't know if my mic is on.
Oh, yeah.
We can vote.
Okay.
The only thing you cannot vote on is actions pertaining to the Students First Act.
That's right. Dr.
Yeah.
Nichols did clear that. Okay. So in the quorum rules, we still have to have a quorum present?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
My understanding is this is a amendment to the General Opens Meeting Act, which governs more than just school boards. So a member can be present for deliberation and voting, except for Students First Act stuff. But not for the quorum.
Okay. Okay. Any further discussion? I'll call for the vote. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any nays? Any abstain? Motion passes. Dr. Nichols.
Mr. President, members of the board, I recommend for your, I'm sorry, I don't recommend for your approval. I give you a first reading of policy 5.1.3, certification and requirement for dual enrollment. And we will then send that out and have that updated. Maybe some comments from those on the policy committee or Dr. Ja.
Go ahead.
Okay. So the dual enrollment one is, I actually didn't know this until the previous policy committee, but students can request classes from, I think UAH and Calhoun be added so they can dual enroll. And this is adding to the list of classes that they can take. Category theory, which I actually had to look up, and algebraic structures and with applications, I believe, are the two that we're adding. The other one is, and Dr. Jock, correct me on this, we are amending our certification requirement for substitute teachers based on the salary update that we did in the last meeting. Okay. Mr. Anderson's not here, so correct me, Dr. Jock, if I get this wrong. But substitute teachers can either have a Alabama teaching certificate, so a retired teacher can come and substitute, or if they do not have one of those, they'll need an Alabama substitute teacher's license. Long-term subs, which are, they serve for 20 consecutive days in the same classroom. In addition to the Alabama substitute teacher's license, they need a valid teaching certificate. And the amendment is, used to be a valid Alabama teaching certificate, but it's any teaching certificate. So say they were a teacher in Kansas and have a valid teaching certificate from Kansas, they could be a long-term sub as long as they have that and the Alabama substitute teacher's license. I get that right? Awesome.
Good job.
You got the thumbs up.
And there'll be no vote on this, being that it's a first reading. I would like to just, and the timing's not good, but this brings to mind, Dr. Nichols, with dual enrollment. I'd spoken to Dr. Donaldson, and she may have, it might have been in a work session, spoken to the board about expanding that. Some universities are doing some kind of early enrollment. I know Auburn's doing it. I think Alabama's doing it, and they were looking into that. And just at some point, if you'll just stick a pin in that, I'd just like to see what the staff's thinking about that.
Let me just tell you, we've been in discussion with both the University of Alabama and Auburn about their early enrollment. We plan to bring that back to the board and add it to our dual enrollment list in the future. We're working out the details. There's a little bit of challenge in that due to the fact that the semesters may not correlate and end when we have graduation. We have an early graduation. And due to the fact that we all share the Von Braun Center, and we're first on, pretty much on that list. And so making sure that we can coordinate getting those grades turned in from Auburn and Alabama at a time that we can coordinate our graduation. So we have had meetings, we have meetings with both those universities, and we plan to bring a recommendation back to the board before Christmas so we can begin that process in the spring.
Excellent. Well, thank you for that update. Sorry for just throwing it out there.
No?
With no vote on item number 3, we will move to item number 4. This is where I believe I handle this one, is that correct? This is where the board selects 2 delegates and 1 alternate for the Alabama Association of School Boards, ASB. And so if we can have nominations for, I know we've had some discussion and banter about this, but this is for the delegate assembly that's held at the convention in December. It'll be on the evening of December 1st. So I'll open up the floor for a nomination of delegates and alternate. I'd like to nominate Travis Cummings as a delegate.
Second.
Thank you. Ms. King, do I need to vote on these, or can we just go through, nominate another delegate? Do we have a nomination for another delegate?
I nominate Mr. Newberry.
I second that. And a nomination for an alternate.
I'll nominate Mr. Holtkamp as an alternate.
Well, thank you, Mr. Newberry. Can I get a second on my nomination as an alternate?
Second.
Thank you. And we'll take these by acclamation, and we will have Mr. Cummings and Mr. Newberry as board delegates, Mr. Holtkamp as alternates. And Mr. Overcash, lest you feel left out, you're very welcome to attend the delegate assembly with us. There will be a seat right beside us if you'd like to. Okay. And let's see. With nothing further on that, we will move to, let me get back to my other agenda. We will move to personnel actions.
Mr. President, members of the board, I recommend approval of the list of substitutes for Madison City Schools.
Board, the superintendent recommends approval of the list of substitutes for Madison City Schools. Can these be taken as a group?
Yes.
Can I have a motion and a second?
So move.
Second.
A motion by Ms. Lessman and a second by Mr. Cummings. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstain? Substitute list passes. Dr. Nichols.
Mr. President, members of the board, I recommend for approval the supplemental contracts for work performed by Madison City Schools.
Board, the superintendent recommends approval of supplemental contracts for work performed for Madison City Schools. Can these be taken as a group?
Yes.
With the group fine, can I have a motion and a second?
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion by Mr. Newberry and a second by Mr. Cummings. Any discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstain? Motion passes. Dr. Nichols, personnel actions.
Mr. President, members of the board, I recommend for approval the remainder of the personnel actions.
Board, the superintendent recommends the approval of the remainder of the personnel actions that you have before you. Can these be taken as a group? With the group fine, can I have a motion and a second?
So move.
Second.
A motion by Ms. Lessman and a second by Mr. Cummings. Any discussion? Call for the vote. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Any abstain? Motion passes. Dr. Nichols, are there any that you'd like to call attention to at this time?
Not this morning, Mr. President.
All right. That will close out personnel actions, and we'll move straight into superintendent comments.
Several things. First of all, we do want to congratulate, and I do appreciate the board moving our meeting so we could support the Bob Jones Volleyball team. They were the runners-up in the state tournament Thursday. Had a great match. They started on Wednesday and worked through the pool, and then took on McGill Tulin out of Mobile. Took them to 4 games and did an excellent job. Very young team we have. So we're very excited for Coach Jarrett and the team. They did a great job and had a great season. We also are excited that last week we were recognized as a District of Distinction by Cognia. That used to be called Southern Association Accreditation. It's an association that most, I would say 100% of the school districts in the state, as well as private schools and others, belong to, because it's a body that allows your accreditation to carry your transcripts between colleges, carry your transcripts between schools. Cognia's been around a long time, different name. They reviewed 35 school districts in Alabama last year. 2 were recognized as exceeding and receiving a high level, and we were one of those. And so certainly appreciate the work that Dr. Donaldson, she couldn't be here this morning, but next meeting we'll have her present you all the certification, and certainly appreciate the work that she and the leaders of the team put in on that. We had a busy weekend. We had a chess tournament and a green power race and cross-country sectionals, and what else, Mr. Terrell? We had a lot going on this weekend, and they've got a busy week this week, and all kinds of concerts and activities. Trumbauer coming around for drama students, and concerts coming around. So just a lot of activities getting ready to be this season. Certainly appreciate our staff. We have had to battle a little bit of the flu the last week. We normally run about 94 to 95% across the district in attendance, and we dipped down to about 90 overall last week. We had a couple of schools that were probably in the low 80s for a few days. That makes it quite challenging when you have that. But Liberty had a few days of that. We hope they're past it now. And Mill Creek, the biggest challenge is still subs when we have teachers out. Could be the teacher's sick. Could be the teacher's children are sick, and they need to be home. And so I really encourage folks. We've raised the sub rate of pay. Dr. Ja and has been working on that. The board approved it. So if you're not on the sub list, I'd encourage you to get on the sub list. That would really help us out when we get in those areas. We did have Mr. Jones and Mr. Gunner and their team go through Liberty, especially, and Mill Creek, and spray at night, disinfectant a little bit more up the schedule than normal. So we hope that will help, and they work around the other schools. We keep an eye on that on the daily attendance, so we hope we can kind of get through this period of flu, but I know it's active all across. But it's not just flu, it's RSV. We haven't had many cases of COVID, so that's good, but we've had the flu and stomach virus, that went around. It's all kinds of stuff. So, but we were able to continue on and get that done last week and continue to work toward that. So I appreciate our staff that worked on that last week. I think that's it.
Thank you, Dr. Nichols. We'll move into board comments. We'll start with Mr. Overcash.
Nothing this morning, sir.
Thank you so much. Mr. Newberry?
I just want to say congrats to the Bob Jones Volleyball team. I did want to say that we filled out our impact aid form on Power School. It autofills a lot of stuff for you, so I would encourage everybody to fill that out. It only takes a couple of minutes. The hardest part is finding a couple of minutes to sit down and do it. So you log into Power School and you can do it. And then happy Halloween, everybody. I would just say, young kids, forget the rules of the road on Halloween. So if you're driving after dark, please drive slowly and look out for them, because I'm trying to tell Pikachu and Mario that they still have to look both ways when they cross the street, but sometimes they forget. That's all I got.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Mr. Newberry. Ms. Lessman?
Yes, I'd again like to congratulate the Bob Jones Volleyball team. That was huge. Lots of hard work. I'd also like to recognize the school principals this month. It's National School Principal Month, the month of October, and we appreciate all that our principals do. That's a lot with administration as well as, the teachers and the students. So they do a lot for our schools. Thank you, principals. And I want to remind everyone, there is the Tootsie Roll 5K on November 5th, this Saturday, which will benefit the special education. It's put on by the Knights of Columbus, so we appreciate them. And then there is an inaugural drill competition at Bob Jones November 5th. It's called the Commander's Cup, and they're expecting 20 high schools to include Mississippi, Tennessee, and Georgia. Just wanted to throw that in there, and everyone have a happy Halloween.
Thank you, Ms. Lessman. Mr. Cummings?
No comments this morning.
Thank you, sir. Just like to echo the congratulations for Bob Jones, the volleyball team. They've had a great season and represented Madison City Schools with excellence in the tournament. Wish everyone a happy and safe Halloween this evening. Should be wonderful weather. And as Mr. Newberry said, just keep your eyes open and look out for the little ghosts and goblins out there. With that, I'll announce that our Finance Committee meeting is this coming week. I believe that's a Tuesday because we have Friday off for Veterans Day. There will be lots of veterans activities next week within the district, but Tuesday, November 8th at 4, we'll have a Finance Committee meeting. That will be followed at 5 p.m. here in the boardroom with a school board meeting on Tuesday, November 8th. With nothing further, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So move.
Second.
I have a motion by Ms. Lessman and a second by Mr. Overcash. All those in favor of adjourning, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstain?